there's been a bunch of people too that are already in pretty good shape that are doing it and losing weight. Like, and I know some people are like, oh, maybe this diet isn't for somebody that has more body fat, but I think it can be immensely. I think the worse shape somebody is, I think the more impact that this potentially has for a lot of people. Because I know Cole works with people that are 400 and 500 pounds. He had a woman on the other day, I think, that lost. She's now at like 150 pounds of weight that she's lost. And I think the last 50 pounds of it have been from sugar fasting. But this woman was sharing her experience of how this diet is just easier. So she already did lose a considerable amount of weight doing something else. She felt like this intervention was easier for her to follow. So again, I just like to look at it. It's another option. It's another tool that we can utilize. And I know that you've been utilizing it as well. So how have, when you said that you were going to try it, that was really interesting for me, because I was like, and it seemed like you've been coaching people, you've done bodybuilding shows, you know how to get shredded.
Yeah.
But I think even for yourself, you were interested. You're like, maybe I don't know, maybe that is another option. Why don't I just give it a try? So what made you consider it?
Yeah, I was just, because like, again, I know how to drop weight. I know how to get into the 240s. Like I sit around 9 to 11% body fat as is. So what I was wondering was, because I've dieted on higher carbohydrates in the past, but when I've done that, generally I kept consistently low fat intake. That was when I was like dieting for bodybuilding shows, right? And because that consistent low fat intake, my test was tanked for a while, right? Because I was having 30 to 40 grams of fat for a period of 6 months. And 200 plus grams of carbohydrates on a daily basis, and a good amount of protein. So when I started doing low carb, keto, that type of stuff, or just mainly low carb over the years, I found, and some fasting, I found it very easy to get leaner. But the carbs did have to kind of be controlled and stay low. So when you started talking about this, I was like, okay, you know what? I know how to get lean doing both of these, but can I just like drop weight in this way while maybe on certain days having a good amount of fats, and on certain days having higher carbohydrates, kind of like, again, swapping from day to day in terms of what my energy source is. That's the thing that was really intriguing to me, because what I did find by doing it was that a lot of carbohydrates without the presence of a decent amount of fat, if I do that on certain days, like I feel pretty good. My performance in the gym was really good when I was doing lifts. And it doesn't surprise me that my gym lifts felt really good, because just loading your body with glycogen, right? So, and it's been a long time since I've loaded my body with that much carbohydrates, and especially sugar. I don't eat sugar like that. I had some solid PRs on a Zertra ATG split squat. I did 305 on each leg. And this is the thing, my pumps were really good, but it doesn't surprise me that that was good. Like, again, these are glycolytic workouts. I'm loading my body with glycogen. No surprise there. But the way the weight just kind of started dropping off from day to day was really interesting for me too, because I had really good energy as that weight was dropping. Typically, when dieting, the energy expenditure decreases naturally. Like I start to feel, when I start to drop into those 240s, I start to energetically feel less. Like I can do it, but my output just is not as high. I need to motivate myself more. I need to, like, I physically don't feel like I have that bump, right? But because of the way that I was operating with this diet, using quite a bit of sugar before some of those workouts all felt high energy and good, even though the weight was dropping. So it's for me, this is like, it's a really solid tool to kind of dig into lower body fats while maintaining very, very solid energy expenditure during all of those workouts, versus, let's say you're dieting with low fat, right? Especially as a guy, you will, especially if you do chronically low fat dieting, that will hit your hormonal levels, right? And if you do really high fat, really low carb, you might not feel like you have that pop when it comes to things like sprinting, when it comes to things that require a lot of require a good amount of glycogen, like lifting weights, kettlebell work.
Your hydration can get messed up too when you're going low carb.
Exactly, right? But this kind of gives me the room to cycle that a little bit, you know? And it's a solid tool. I love using it now.
I just think it's a breakthrough. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's a big breakthrough, and I think it's going to lead to a lot better outcomes for people. I think people are now going to be able to mix and match this with some of their favorite things. Like, I don't see any reason why you can't still do your favorite diet in between. Like, if you are someone that has tried the vertical diet, or someone that's tried, I don't know how well keto would fit, just because like you usually need to be in a ketogenic state for like a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you wouldn't be able to mix some low carb in there, or whatever dietary intervention or plan that you normally like. I don't see why you can't do, a few days of both. I can't really see a lot of reasons why. One thing I would encourage you not to do is to, let's say, have the first half of your day be like sugar fasting, and then you are going to have, meat and stuff like that at dinner. What I wouldn't encourage you to do is to eat a lot of fat on that same day, just to try to keep it like a little separate. But a lot of fat, that can be up for you to sort of determine what you think is a lot of fat. I would say if you can keep it like down around 60 would be very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody's trying to lose weight, maybe they bring it down to like 50, but also keep in mind what Nsima was saying. Like, eventually with all this, and probably one of the best people that we've ever had on the show talk nutrition is a good friend, Joel Green. We've had him come on.
I was like, Joel.
We've had him come on so many times, and he's like, listen, your luck's going to run out. It's just going to be like, you fasted and you're, using these 72-hour fasts. It's like, eventually, I don't think that's going to be good for you. And maybe there's some people that, do a 48-hour, 72-hour. I think Sean O'Hara, who's been on our podcast, I think he utilizes that and seems to be very effective for him. And I think he's like 60 and he's in great shape. He's got great hair. He seems like he's got a lot of cool things going on. So there are people that can make certain things work out. But I think for the majority of people, you will find that if you follow something too long, you more than likely will run into some sort of issue.
And I want to mention, that's why I really do like this tool, because what it kind of looks like for me is like a day of sugar fasting. The next day, I'll probably have some fattier food, maybe some meat, etc. Maybe a little bit of like carbohydrates before a specific type of workout. The next day, maybe I'll do sugar fasting again. Like, and it's not like everyday flip-flops, but I will use these interventions on certain days, and it gives me more room. But again, with what you were saying there, when I did a lot of fasting, I got very lean. But again, just like when I was very lean, it was still the thing where the energy expenditure wasn't where I wanted it to be. Like, I could do what I needed to do, but I didn't have that pop. And I understand that if I can use this, and especially like use the sugar where I need to use the sugar, I can always have that pop during specific types of exercise while being very lean. You know what I mean? That's a big deal.